and little Tommy Needham is in the hot seat for our segment called Poor Man's MacGyver. Now, the idea behind this segment is that we place little Tommy Needham in a hypothetical scenario, a conundrum, if you will, and he's assigned 6 random objects through which to solve that conundrum. Now, Tom, take note.
Do I have to write this down?
I've got a list for you, but I'll just read them out for your benefit first, just so you can have the cogs in your head ticking over before we read out the scenario you've got. So the idea is that you'll use the following items: barbed wire, a hose, a calculator, clown makeup, a baby's rattle, and an infinite amount of mice.
Okay, it's solved.
Because the 6...
you don't even know what the problem is.
The 6th item Tony and I have decided is usually you get an infinite amount,
which is handy.
Yeah, that's what we've done previous week, so we're keeping that.
Problem solved.
All right. Well, I'm not sure because Tom.
No, I've already put the calculations through, and any scenario that you throw at me, the problem is already solved.
They're the ideal items. Let's face it.
Every soldier in the US Army is now equipped with those items and nothing else.
You have to execute the perfect first date with your dream woman.
But isn't it meant to be a...
Nah, not this time. You've got to pull off a date.
You have to embark on a first date with those items.
So
it's not really a MacGyver-esque...
Hey, MacGyver would do this.
Anyway.
If MacGyver went on a date, he would use a paperclip and he would get into bed somehow.
I don't know if that's quite the point.
Look.
But, okay, well, for interest's sake, I'll just say that this girl just got kidnapped and I have to go save her.
No, that's not in the story. So it's 6 o'clock, you drive into a house to pick her up.
Okay.
What do you do?
All right, well, I ride on my tidal wave of infinite mice to the front door. That's fairly obvious.
Hop on, milady.
And
hang on, so you can control the mice?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that's implied.
Well, is it?
Yeah, well, okay, let's say...
You're not going to just swarm and chew all his flesh off and just
control the mice.
Yeah, he controls the mice.
Okay.
I'll turn them on you.
You can hypothetically do what you want to me.
Well, you're dead now.
All right, so I'm hypothetically dead in this situation.
All right, good. Now, so Tom, you've rocked up on your infinite mice cart.
My wave of mice.
Okay, so it's not even... You don't even have wheels or anything. You're just riding on
it's much cooler that I surf.
You're not going to make out in the back of that, are you?
a tidal wave of mice. Making out on a tidal wave of mice.
Yep.
She's not even saying anymore.
I surf on the calculator of the waves as mice.
So, what was that sentence?
I surf on the calculator.
Look, can I just say...
Which is carried by the waves
She's
of mice.
not going to fit on the calculator with
Big calculator.
No, it's not a big calculator.
No, it's a normal calculator, Tom.
Don't go bending the items we've given you.
I carry her while surfing on the calculator.
What, with 1 foot? Because you know how big calculators are. They're very small. You would, in fact, you'd probably break it underfoot.
It's a lot of mice, Nick. Infinite amount of mice.
That doesn't matter.
No, I don't like this surfing. I don't think she'd be impressed by a wave of mice. Maybe she'd be impressed.
All right, so I don't surf on the calculator. Right. Whatever.
So now, where are you going to take her? You got her out of the house. Are you going to compliment her on how she looks?
Yeah, that's already done.
Okay.
What have you said?
You look good.
So Tom's just rocked up on a wave of mice and go, you look good.
And she's like, wow, thanks. Oh, is that your mice? And we are carried into the city on our wave of mice, beating traffic, I might add.
Well, mice can go through traffic.
And I dare say you would stop traffic as well with that site.
So that's handy.
Wouldn't this be an epidemic of people trying to put out the plague of mice?
I commanded them. They disperse as I wish.
Okay.
So
he's the mice master, really.
Yeah. See, any problem I can just fix with the mice, but I'll use some other stuff.
Any problem I can just fix with the mice.
Yeah.
So, like, what are you gonna take?
That's on anything that happens from now on in this story, Tony. I want to come back to that quote. How we could have solved it with mice. Okay.
Where are we going for dinner? Well, I think you're riding on it.
Tonight, baby, we're eating in.
We're eating mice.
Dinner is served.
I'll cook the mice. I'll just make a fire out of some mice. Here we go. So now I've made a fire out of some mice. Do you need some utensils? Let me just... Here we go. I'll just get a fork, mouse fork going on here.
Good thing you're all for animal cruelty.
Hey, take it seriously.
It's an infinite amount. It doesn't matter how many.
Right, so we get to the restaurant and she says, have you booked it? I'm like, no, of course not. and it's booked out.
Oh,
the restaurant's booked out,
Okay.
and she's
Why
like,
are you creating more problems in your own story?
the restaurant is booked out, right?
Yeah.
And see, I can solve everything now with the mice.
You didn't have that problem before.
Hang on. So
You've got a new problem to solve.
No, she's got to be impressed by it on this date, right? So
Okay.
I've said no, I didn't make a reservation. She's like, why didn't you do that? And I just said, you know what? You go into the bathroom and I'll talk to the maitre d' about organising a table. And the maitre d' says, you can't park your mice there. And I say, don't worry, they're coming in. And I flood the restaurant with mice.
Okay.
And the patrons all go, oh, mice, I'm leaving. And they all leave. And suddenly, there's a free restaurant we can just waltz into.
is
and
she
I'm like,
not a bit suspicious that everyone?
no, I tell her.
Well,
Hang on. You say I let the mice in and they freaked out, and she's supposed to go, wow, so
Okay, so she's fine with this. I'd like to point out that everyone flees the restaurant. You've got no chef or anything anymore.
No,
staff.
they're patrons.
Hang on, have they paid?
What?
Did all the people who run out, did they pay?
Yeah.
Not in that much of a panic then.
They went, oh, mice, quick, we better pay for our meal, and then continue fleeing. In
Oh my
horror.
god, a plague! Check, please.
So anyway, we sit down, and okay.
I'm not convinced at all by this
The
story.
chef is momentarily distracted by the mice,
That's all you've used so far.
That's all
And-
you've used.
and-
You've done a piss weak attempt at using the calculator.
and the kitchen catches on fire.
More problems!
So
He's
I go-
just integrating more problems
So I go-
into a scenario he already can't solve.
So I said, "Don't worry, I've got a hose," and I put it at the fire.
Okay. Well,
She's got,
okay,
the goal.
sure.
The goal of this is quite ambiguous in terms of
No, it isn't.
in comparison to.
Have a good date. At the moment, you've had the date, so it's been booked out. You haven't booked on time, right?
So
and
lazy and unorganised.
Lazy and unorganised, and you've started a fire in the restaurant.
Inadvertently, I might add.
And he's a mouse whisperer.
Hey, chicks love that.
Well, we're,
If you're a woman and you love mouse whispering, message in
I'm just saying-
0427767767.
I'm just saying the previous assignments for this segment.
get on
have
with it,
been-
Tom. You're supposed to have the perfect first date. You've
Yep.
created.
You've
new
only
problems.
taken her to dinner. What are you going to do after
We've
dinner?
got a perfect first date, a nice romantic restaurant, which we're the only people there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Atmosphere.
Yeah,
Yep,
a nice
atmosphere.
romantic mouse ride to the restaurant. and a nice romantic putting out of a fire.
Yeah.
So that's done. So that's taken care of.
Oh, good.
So what do we do next?
We
go-
his list.
We go. Oh, how about this? We go out onto the river to have a nice romantic stroll.
A nice mouse flood running down the river.
No, we walk. The mice are parked,
Okay.
Okay, good.
or they've dispersed, and I can go, and they come back.
Yeah, alright.
And anyway, so we're walking along the river, and there's some buskers there, and they're having a good time. And she says, "Gee, I really like buskers, but I really
I
like
see where he's going.
I really like the circus as well." And I'm like, "Hey, I've got this clown makeup on me," and I say to the buskers,
I've got this clown makeup on me. I just carry it around.
I say to the buskers, "I'll give you a calculator."
And the busker's like, finally I can complete business school. Finally, all I needed was a calculator. Now
1 + 1, $2. Yes.
now
And
I
so-
can be the head of a technological corporation.
It was holding me back. That's
And
all
so,
it was.
and so I give them I get them to put the clown makeup on.
Just like that.
Yep, and they do an
This is a
impromptu.
TI-83. Wow.
They do an impromptu, circus act, and I'm like, "Hey, I got you a
So,
circus act.
alright.
Your own
I'll-
personal circus."
All right. So
I'm willing to entertain that.
Okay, so I need to get-
I'll say she's in the mood right now, and you've gone back to your house.
Yeah.
What's going to happen now with the objects you've got left?
Well,
Which I calculate is
it's
the barbed wire
and the baby rattle.
No, he hasn't used the baby rattle
the
either.
barbed wire and the baby rattle.
Something very kinky is going to go on tonight, I can tell you.
So
That is the response, isn't it?
we get home.
Yeah.
And there's an intruder in the house.
More problems. You guys keep on making it more complicated.
I like it how, what he's done is he's just he creates problems that are solved by the objects we've given him.
Yeah.
It's quite sneaky what he's done.
Yeah.
And I strike him with the baby rattle, and he falls over.
Oh, just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a knockout blow, isn't it?
It's a big baby rattle. And just thinking of what I can do with barbed wire.
See, I would have thought you used the barbed wire on the intruder,
That's
but no,
pretty
you
mean.
went for the baby
And I
rattle.
throw him out.
You could use the barbed wire to petition off a section of the house and go, "You're not allowed in there. That's my area." All right.
You can take half the house, buddy, not this half.
No, I meant for his date. Like, I don't want you crossing this.
Okay.
There's things in this house I don't want you to see. So
But the intruder gets back up, and I say, "Well, I'm just going to have to tie you up and pipe wire."
Ooh.
So I
Cutting his.
Well, no, I don't do that actually. I'll renege that. He gets back up, but I knock him out again, and then I
Why did he get back up?
Why'd you let him get back up?
because
Hypothetically, he could have just stayed down.
No, he took a run at me, so I had to knock him out again. And then I thought, well, he can't get out again, so I just built a cage out of barbed wire, and I keep him in the back.
Okay. Well,
And then she's like, "Gee, you're brave."
And
Let's do it.
industrious.
And
resourceful,
so,
very resourceful.
I think that I had a pretty good date after all that.
Will you see her again?
Yeah, she loves mice.
That is poor man's MacGyver. Probably one of the weirdest discussions I've ever had.
Yeah, I think so.
But then again, this is something completely different. We'll probably top it next break, to be honest. 0427 767 767 is the text line. Facebook.com/SCD907 is the Facebook page. Gee, what have we got coming up? Some more news, and I promise we will get to the fish cam stuff that I mentioned before. Right now, though, we have the Postal Service. Tony, it's been a weird one, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
What more can you say? It's
Pretty
hard to
good at
wrap
this
it up.
MacGyver stuff.
Yeah, well, Tony will be doing Poor Man's MacGyver next week. I look forward to that.